Well, the camera gods continue to test me. They say, hey Dan, there's a new camera release. You should buy it. And for 2 days I'll hold out. And ultimately I will succumb again. But I'm pretty happy about this one. I'm out here with the DJI Pocket 3. And I actually own the very first model of the DJI Osmo Pocket. And I recently just gave it away. I never used it. I thought it was really cool, but I got into their series of action cameras. And then I wasn't interested in the Pocket 2. And I had no idea that I'd be interested in the Pocket 3. And then oops, I was. So the things that drew me to this camera initially are the image quality, the Active Track 6.0, which I'm using right now. It's locked onto my face and it's just amazingly sticky. And this guy, the DJI Mic 2, which no one even knew this was going to be a part of it. Pleasant surprise. And it's got a built-in receiver into the actual Pocket 3, which is sick. So to break those things down just a little bit, the image quality, you can see. I can only see my little screen right now. This is the first time I've even used this, so we'll see it after the fact. You'll see it right now. But the Active Track, check this out. I have a little tripod on this, the little tripod stand that came with it. If I set this down, it'll just follow you. And you can still hear the audio because of that mic that came with it, the DJI Mic 2. This is just the ultimate solo content creator kit. It's so useful. Just check this out. You can't even outrun the thing. It's smarter than you. It's faster than you. Really, it's more awesome than all of us. So I just wanted to give some initial impressions of the DJI Pocket 3 because it's a really cool little camera. You know, it's a built-in gimbal in it, so if you have a cell phone or something, you have to buy a gimbal. If you have a mirrorless camera, you have to buy a gimbal. This just is a gimbal. It makes it super easy to just flip it around, see other things. So a camera like this is really appealing to a person like me because I do a lot of documentary style filmmaking out on the streets, and I usually have a big full kit, you know, with a full frame camera, with a microphone on top, sometimes even a gimbal with that, a full-size gimbal. And honestly, it makes a lot of people uncomfortable, and it can make you, the operator, uncomfortable sometimes too. You have people that are just going out in the streets, living their life. Maybe they're even having a bad day, and the last thing they need is some dude walking around, some weirdo walking around with a big setup, getting footage of them. So this is just so much more discreet, and the quality of this makes it a complete game changer for B-roll and A-roll, honestly. And a good way to test what makes people comfortable when it comes to cameras is the kid test. I think of like my nieces and nephews. When I try and get photos of them with like a large full frame mirrorless camera, they're like, hey dude, can you like not with that thing? And then I got into the Fuji system, and the Fuji cameras are much more compact, much smaller, and some of them just kind of look like toys. They just look fun. And the kids all of a sudden were like, yeah, take our picture, that's cool. And then you have something like this, which doesn't really even look like a camera, and it's just gonna make everybody more comfortable. All right, so I just want to jump in real quick to give you some perspective. This is what we're talking about. This is the DJI Pocket 3. It's tiny. To turn it on, you just flip the screen up and it comes to life just like that. So check this out. This is what I usually use for a gimbal. Keep in mind, this is the mini version of a gimbal. This is the DJI RS3 Mini. This is without a camera even mounted on it. So let's say we'll use the X-T5 as an example here. If you were to set this on here, you got yourself a whole big kit and caboodle. And this is the small version of this gimbal. Now, when I'm normally out doing like documentary style filmmaking and stuff, this would be the kit I use, like a Canon R5 or a Canon R6 with a Rode mic on top. Not very discreet. Nobody can tell this guy is out filming stuff. It's a huge setup. The Pocket 3 is smaller than the microphone on this setup. Talk about some big camera energy. So that just gives you an idea of the size that you're working with here. It's tiny. So when I'm typically using this setup, this RS3 Mini with one of my Fujifilm cameras, I'm not exactly looking for depth of field. I'm just looking for stable footage to capture a scene. So if you have plenty of light, like in an outdoor situation, this is just probably a better option. Also worth noting, the mic that comes with this camera, the DJI Mic 2, which is unreleased in any other capacity, which is a whole nother story. It's kind of weird. I'm recording all the audio for this video with this little microphone right now. It's actually got 8 gigabytes. I think 8 gigabytes of internal recording space, which is crazy. So this has a receiver in it. The audio audio will go directly to this and be baked into your video, which is dope. Or you can just record like this independently and I can pull the files off of this. And when I do that, it records it in 32-bit float audio, which I wasn't even aware existed before this little unit came out. And it turns out it's like the most dynamic kind of recording that you can have right now. I'm certainly not an expert on 32-bit float, so I'm not gonna act like I am, but I'm glad it's in here. Worth noting too, if you get the creator combo, you get the camera, you get this little carrying case, which is nice, which has the 2 slots in there for these filters, one that comes with it, one that doesn't. You also get this extended battery grip thingy, which has a USB-C port, a little tripod base, and a myriad of other little knick-knacky things. You get the microphone, you get a dead cat for the top of the mic if you're in a windy situation. But when you put these things all together, you have a nice little setup here. All right, back to the desert. It's pretty cool. So I really wish DJI would stop making such cool products because it's going to be expensive. And a lot of people are saying that this camera is too expensive. The base model comes in at like $520. I'm not entirely sure. And then the creator combo is like $100 more or $150 more. But in my opinion, what you're getting out of this package, I think it's worth it. The reason that DJI just keeps crushing it is because everything they make is incredibly easy to use, has incredible quality, and is just incredibly innovative. And this one is pretty top notch. They took something that already existed, the Pocket 1 and the Pocket 2, and somehow made it 10 times better. It's unbelievable. I think it's super cool that products like this are out there that anyone can pick up and use and figure out instantly. But also, if you are a camera person and you want to have some pro level features, they're built in here as well. So the Pocket 3 can also do some photos. You probably will barely ever use it, except for the panorama mode, which is really easy and really cool. I'll throw up a couple examples here. And there's a time lapse, a motion lapse, a hyperlapse. This is an example of a motion lapse that I shot earlier. You just let it sit for 10 minutes, it goes left to right, and you get some really cool stuff. It's just so easy to use. So this is an example of an automated mode where it just does a 180-degree spin. Very Inception, very nauseating, very cool. So this definitely wasn't meant to be any kind of comprehensive review, just kind of some initial thoughts because I just unboxed this thing and came out here for a little sunset walk. It's a super cool product. Maybe I'll do a dedicated review in the future. I don't know, but so far things are looking. So just to wrap this up, this camera is super cool. I'm really excited to use it for just mostly documenting my own life. And I think that that's why it might be a great option for a lot of people. It's a really simple, cool, and fun way to get excellent, some dare say, cinematic footage of your own life. And there's nothing more important than that, than having those memories for yourself and to share in the future, look back on. Because it will never be a better movie than the story of your own life. So film it. So thanks for checking this video out. If you liked it at all, if you thought it was even decent, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my page, comment below if you have this camera, if you've been thinking about it, if you have any questions about it. It's a really cool device. I'm gonna try and get some more content rolling on this channel now, so stay tuned, stick with it, and keep being creative.